Hi there guys, how's it going? Well, I can guess that almost each and every one who views this channel regularly will be either in complete disagreement with what I'm about to say, or will be downright angry with what I'm about to say and basically throw me to the lions. But I think it needs to be said, so let's go. Look, we all have a fair idea about what's going on in Afghanistan. We also have a fair idea about what the UK is doing about it. We know that Priti Patel, being the cow that she is, has thrown cold water on the idea of acting decisively to rescue 20,000 Afghans and has instead watered it down to 5,000. Now, whether or not even those 5,000 will actually be accepted is yet to be seen. But given that a record on this is plainly anti-immigration, no matter the humanitarian crisis, I honestly, personally, I hold out little hope. Although that being said, at least the UK is doing something, and it's doing it now. That cannot be said for the EU, at least not for the time being. And I, for one, am pissed off with it, very pissed off. Look, the EU's reaction is quite frankly, in my opinion, absolutely appalling. Personally, I don't give a toss about sound bites. I don't care what people say. I care what people do. I don't care what various heads of states are saying or what their agenda is or what they're purporting to be pushing to rescue and accept these poor people into Europe. I don't care what is being done about what they're saying. I care about what is being done now, what is being done today, not tomorrow, not next week. You know, it's not like we haven't faced something like this before. It isn't new. We have faced it. We can almost predict what's going to happen. And let's face it, we know from direct experience that thousands upon thousands of men, thousands of women and children are going to die. And those poor people are, generally speaking, the very same people whose family members helped out Western forces and Western private companies. I mean, but let's go back to the UK for the moment. The UK claims it pulled out its armed forces in 2014. Now, what I say to the UK, what I say to the ministry, what I say to the Johnson, you're talking rubbish. You're lying. It's taking voters for fools. I'm not saying the UK didn't reduce the amount of foot soldiers on the ground, but to say it withdrew its military, that's just a barefaced lie. Just 2 days ago, 600 military personnel returned to the UK. What in the hell were they doing there? Are we supposed to believe that they were playing tiddlywinks or protecting the embassy? Or should we believe that their job as military were to train the Afghan army and other security forces who in turn would protect UK investment, who would protect UK contracts and would protect the UK's government foreign policy in Afghanistan? That's what the military were doing there. There are $3 trillion of oil reserves in Afghanistan. 3 trillion. That's almost 3 times the reserves of the North Sea. Do not try to tell me that the UK or the US did not have their beady eyes on that prize. And between the UK and Holland, they make up the vast bulk of the oil industry in Europe. Now, I'm not saying that was the reason for going into Afghanistan in the first place, but I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying quite categorically that that was a hell of an incentive to stay there and keep forces on the ground, whether in an advisory capacity or otherwise. But when the US decided to pull out, everybody left, okay? The EU needs to stop flapping around here. Forget Poland and Hungary. They're a bunch of basket cases anyway, and their promotion of nationalism doesn't sit well with me, nor does it sit well with EU principles of fair governance. But what are the others? Italy and Greece. I mean, those boys have direct experience. They know what's going to happen. They know exactly what's going to happen. I may remind everybody out there that immigration in 6-7 years ago was the golden boy of Brexit. That was the key. When the EU waited to formalize a policy on immigration in response to the Syrian crisis, after Italy was screaming for help, Farage jumped on that opportunity and he was handed the ammunition he needed to simply say, I told you so, and he got his referendum. That referendum would not have happened if the EU had been acting properly, in my opinion. The same thing is going to happen again unless the EU takes its finger out of its ass and gets together immediately to announce not what the plan is going to be, but simply that the EU will take X amount of Afghans, it will take X amount of planes, and it'll do it in X amount of time frame. And here's the big one. Here's the very big one. It needs to get to the Taliban and warn them that should they obstruct that evacuation, the EU will cut them off from the ankles economically. And it will get support from the US and other Western nations and the Saudis. And those countries that do not cooperate, the EU have to have the balls to say publicly they didn't cooperate. They need to have the balls to publicly ridicule them, and they should be cut off also. Either Europe stands for something or it doesn't. There's no middle ground here. It needs to step up. This is a time of international crisis. It's not going to go away. It's going to get a lot worse. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get a bit dirty. It's not time for stupid PMs saying stupid things in relevant interviews about what they are proposing. It's time for Ursula von der Leyen to lead. It's time for her to bring the European Union together and say, now guys, today, what are we going to do? We need an answer on this, no matter the consequences. Let's get an answer. It is also a win-win for the EU. The EU have already demonstrated that no one nation is bigger than the collective. Boris learned that lesson. But the EU have also demonstrated that as well as vaccinating most of Europe, faster than the UK, by the way, they've enabled the rest of the world to be vaccinated to a similar amount of people as the EU, because they were exporting. The US did not achieve this. The UK did not achieve this. The EU voters need to see that their loyalty to the Union is being rewarded. The UK voters need to see the way the EU is acting. The EU voters want to see the EU calling the shots. The UK voters really do want to help the Afghan people. So if they can see the EU calling the shots, that's good for everybody. And the EU citizens themselves need to see the EU helping these people today, not tomorrow. Now, I hope I haven't upset too many people here, but it wasn't my intention. But I felt it had to be said that the EU needs to step up. It is too easy just to focus on Boris. That's easy, especially too easy to focus on that cow Patel, who, by the way, whose own family were one of the 30,000 that were evacuated from Uganda. I mean, she must have one of those rocking balls of steel on a pendulum rather than a human beating heart. She's an absolute bitch. But anyway, guys, take care. Hope to see you on the live stream tomorrow night with Max, and see you on the flip side. Take care.